The most important things in music can't be written down. Hello there, fellow troubadours. Okay, I get many questions from you all in the community in the form of comments and in my email. And I've noticed that there are some similar themes coming up. So I decided to pick 3 questions that seem to typify some of the subjects you all seem to be most interested in. And I'm going to try to answer them in today's video. Please, by all means, feel free to post your opinions and your questions, and like and subscribe as well to be part of this community. Also, if you want to support this channel so that I can continue providing this quality content, there are links in the description to my Patreon as well as other ways that you can contribute if you want. You could also browse my Amazon affiliate links. These are links to products that I regularly use, and doing so really helps the channel even if you don't purchase anything. Just clicking on them and browsing really does help. Let's get into the first question, and this has to do with Tab. Not Tab, the soda from the 1970s. Guitar tabs. Okay. JC in New Mexico writes, lately I'm starting to realize that I've probably been relying on tabs for too long in an effort to learn as many songs as possible. I'm beginning to think that this is holding me back from improving in my playing. Am I crazy, or is it just me? Something seems to be missing from my playing, and I just don't know what it is. Thinking the tabs are to blame. What say you? P.S. Thanks for the great content. You're very welcome. Okay. Yes, you are crazy, JC. Just kidding. You have to be a little crazy to be a guitar player in the first place. Well, all right. First, let me say that without really knowing much about you or your playing, right, or anything really concrete, I can't just blindly say that it's the tabs that are causing you the problem. But there is something here that's worthy of discussion when it comes to tabs. Let's talk a little bit about the downside of tabs. But first, let me talk about what I think the good things are about tabs, right? For one, tabs get people playing the guitar, and that's always a good thing, right? And they're a tool. And like all tools, they're good for what they are good for, right? You want to learn quickly where to put your hand and where the notes are. Tabs are great for that. There's probably nothing better for that. The problem that I see with tabs is not in the tabs themselves, but it's how we use them, right? Tabs in and of themselves will not make you a guitar player. Are they stopping you from being a better guitar player? Well, perhaps. I don't know. I mean, I think they have their place. But like many shortcuts, right, even like online lessons that simply show you where to put your hand and where to pick the note. Okay, you learn that. And then you think you're playing it right, because you put your hand in the right place, you played the right note, it didn't fret out, it didn't buzz, you played it right. And I guess technically you are. But at some point, which sounds like you're at that point, you come to realize something is missing, right? And I think a lot of guitar players are fixated too much on that technical aspect of, quote, playing it right. If I put my finger here, I play this note, the strings ring out, I play it in relative time, boom, I could play it. Time to move on to the next piece. But there are other factors, very important factors like tone, dynamics, muting, phrasing, groove, vibrato, right? Bending, ear training, right? Interpretation, the intangibles that are very, very hard to gain by just looking at a chart. It'd be like learning a foreign language from Google Translate and never speaking or learning how to actually read that language, right? There's more to playing guitar than pressing the right spot on the fretboard. Okay, I said that before. Think about a player like Clapton, perfect example. Technically, if you're playing a year or two, you could probably finger most of the riffs that he plays, right? But will they sound anywhere near as good as Clapton? I think we all know the answer to that question. Another downside to tabs is that they often don't offer much in the rhythmic aspect of the notes, the patterns, the phrases, and because of that, guitarists don't always develop that aspect of their playing, which is critical. If you don't groove, then that innate part of the human animal brain will not respond to you. Groove is super duper important, and you don't really get that from tabs. And it's not just because it's tabs, it also holds true even to some extent for music written on the staff. Although, yes, music written on the staff has the rhythmic element, but they are really both just abstractions of music used to aid us, to aid our memory and have a reference point. Okay? They're written down, and as Gustav Mahler, the renowned Austrian composer and conductor, is known for having said, the most important things in music can't be written down. Mahler was known for his profound and expressive compositions, and this quote reflects his belief in the intangibles, the emotional aspects of music that transcend notation or tab. So what can you do about it? Well, simply put, try not to rely on them too much. I mean, it seems straightforward, right? If that's the problem, try to force yourself to listen to the songs you're trying to learn and play along with the record, right? Only use the tabs to refer back to when you're in a pinch, if there's something you can't figure out. Also, watch live players either online or go out and listen to them, right? Try to use a combination of your ears and what you see live players doing and what you hear live players doing to figure out the parts, right? Before you just throw in the towel and resort to the tabs. Force your brain to work a little bit. Or you can get a teacher, either online or in person, or set up an online consultation with someone like myself or other great teachers that are out there on the internet who can listen to your playing and give you some real-world feedback. Lastly, you can start dabbling in learning some music theory, how to read music a little bit. You don't have to become an expert, but just the journey alone will give you a better understanding of the instrument and how music works in general. And it's really, really good for your brain. Okay, the next question up is from KN in my home state of New York. New York. Okay. He says, I can sing a bit, but still have a fear of singing in front of people. Would a vocal coach help with my fear of singing? And would you suggest anyone online, or should I look for a local in person? First of all, I suggest vocal training for anyone who sings, and especially for people like many in this community, myself included, who are kind of guitarists first, and then we just sing. Anybody can open their mouth and sing, right? There's no barrier to entry, and because of this, we don't think about what is actually going on. We kind of take the voice for granted. Because we don't have to think about it, and we do it intuitively, right? We inevitably do it wrong or can develop bad habits that stop us from singing to our potential and can even damage our voice. We just assume that there are good singers and bad singers, and that's all there is to it. But that is not the case at all. Assuming that you have a basic sense of pitch and timing, which you probably do if you're a guitar player and you're a singer, right? There are many things that a vocal teacher can help you with, and I really do think you should do it in person. Okay? They can help you with understanding your instrument. This is your instrument. Your body is your instrument. Okay? As guitar players, we all know how to change strings, how to wire pickups, adjust truss rods. We know about tone woods, pickup height, action, all the technicalities of the guitar. We know how the guitar works, but we don't know a darn thing about how our voice works. Yet we expect to sing at our best, right? Then when we don't, we just assume we don't have a good voice, right? That's not correct. I'm speaking here from firsthand experience because I myself am not a singer first. I learned to sing more technically later on because I was running into issues. So I definitely recommend a voice teacher. I recommend that you do it in person. Singing is a physical activity. And in order for your teacher to correct habits, there will need to be a hands-on approach, at least in the beginning, until you establish a base understanding of what's going on. For starters, I bet you didn't know that there are 4 parts to what make up the voice. The generator, or the breath, the resonator, right, the parts of the throat and the mask that are like the sound hole, the chords, otherwise known as the folds, those are those little things in your larynx that vibrate, and the articulator, the tongue, the lips, the mouth. These are the things that shape the consonants and vowels, right? And those pieces are just the tip of the iceberg. Once you drill into the complexities of each of these, you realize that there are many, many levels to unlock and to practice. And each of these will improve your singing, and it's more difficult than you think. But at the same time, these are all things you can improve on. Okay? Singing in front of a teacher, also to your point of being afraid to sing in front of people, singing in front of a teacher will help you get started to get over your fear of singing in front of people, because some of the exercises that we do in vocal classes are really, really embarrassing. Lip trills like brrr, or brrr, and you have to like make yourself look alert, and you feel like an idiot. My teacher will make me run in place when I'm doing lip trills, so you're literally like brrr, you look like a fool, and that will get you over the embarrassment of it. This will help you gain more confidence in your singing ability, right? And you'll be much more comfortable singing in front of people as you build up your chops and you get over just being embarrassed. Okay, I wish you the best of luck. Jay, this question comes from Jay. Okay, how do you remember the lyrics for all the songs in a 3-hour gig? I'm sure you know a lot by heart from doing this for 30 years or so. Perhaps you can shed some light on it from the perspective of someone who's just starting to sing and play at the same time. All right, Jay, thanks for reaching out. Thanks for the question. Okay, playing and singing at the same time definitely opens up a whole aspect or a whole part of your brain that could make you seemingly forget the things that you thought you already knew. How many times, I've practiced the lyrics, then I've practiced the guitar part, and then I go to put them both together, and it seems I've forgotten one. I know them both separately, but when I put them together, because I'm focusing on the whole thing, I forget one piece of it. It's kind of like doing this. It's like we have to remember 3 things for every one song: the lyrics, the guitar part, and then the 2 of them combined, which are almost like an entity in and of themselves. So obviously there's no real replacement for just sheer repetition, right? But that being said, most of the songs I do in fact sing from memory. But I also do use the iPad for gigs for certain songs, mostly the new ones that I don't know cold yet. And I try to wean myself off of the iPad. I don't have a particular system for memorizing songs other than just repetition, playing at home, right? And when you're at home, try not to let yourself lean on the iPad. Keep it handy to refer to when you get stuck, kind of just like tabs. It doesn't matter if you make a mistake when you're at home, right? So why use the iPad at home? Force yourself to memorize it when you're practicing at home. Also, listening to the songs in the car or even in the shower is a great way to drill the songs into your head, okay? And I don't mean just passively let them play in the background, although that does help. I want you to imagine yourself playing it as you listen. Sing along with the recording. Really focus on the lyrics. And sometimes doing that while you're kind of doing something else, it just forces your brain, a different area of your brain, I find, to commit it to memory. If you make a mistake, play the song over again. Focus on the parts that you're weakest at. Actively listen. This will speed up the memorization process. You'd be amazed at how your brain sort of just pieces these things together and commits them to memory, even when you aren't feeling like you're practicing them, right? You don't need a guitar in your hand to practice. Also, for me personally, the fact that I play out a lot, it adds more reps and it gets the songs to sink in. So the more you can play out, if you're in that position, the better, right? That being said, I do kind of personally have a good memory for songs and lyrics, but that's probably just from all the years of doing it. Again, another form of repetition, okay? Thanks for reaching out. And if I could conceptualize what I think would be a really good video on this, I'll try to make a video dedicated just to this topic. So thank you for the idea. And thank you all for watching my question and answer video. If you want to support this channel, again, there are a variety of ways you can do it down in the description. I'm Frank Persico. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.